Even though Peppa Pig is one of the most famous cartoon show in the world, it still has some mistakes that you might have missed. Like in this episode, we meet Super Potato, who goes to Peppa's school to save Mr. Potato, who got stuck inside his car. He then uses his super strength to remove the glass roof of the car. The mistake here is that even before he completely removes the lid, Mr. Potato gets out of the car, passing through the glass roof, which completely goes against the laws of physics. It seems like it's Mr. Potato who is an actual superhero. In the episode Ballet Lesson, when Peppa arrives at school and starts dancing with her classmates, we can see Danny Dog jump to the left side and off the frame, but seconds later, we can see him appear on the right side. It seems like Danny Dog can do teleportation. And it isn't the only mistake in this scene. Let's look at Danny Dog closely. We can see his ears are together in this scene, but the moment he appears on the right side, his ears are apart. There's a significant gap between them. Now that's a weird mistake. Now this next mistake is an interesting one. In this scene, as we can see, there is a kitchen counter, and next to it there is a garbage can. However, seconds later, when Peppa runs with a horse, we can see that the garbage can disappeared and is replaced by recycling boxes. Now this next mistake is a weird one. Here we can see Peppa and her friends are outdoors playing soccer. And in the background, we can see there are 4 trees, and these trees have fruits. But the issue is, in the next scene, all the fruits from these trees completely disappear. Pretty weird, isn't it? In the episode The Museum, Peppa goes to a museum with her family. She's exploring the museum and having a lot of fun. And in one of the scenes, where Peppa is looking at a crown on a shelf, we can see that in the background there's a plain purple wall behind her. But when it zooms to Peppa, we don't see the purple wall, but instead we see a glass cabinet. But in the scene earlier, it was just a purple wall behind her. In the episode Miss Rabbit's Day Off, we can see Daddy Pig oversees the ice cream cart. Now take a close look at the arrangement of ice cream flavors. When Daddy Pig is in a call with Peppa, the scene switches, and when it gets back to Daddy Pig, look at the colors of ice cream, it has changed. In the episode Power Cut, we can see both Peppa and George happily dancing to the music coming from the speaker in the family's living room. Later in the episode, there's a power cut, and everything goes dark. And the family makes a cardboard TV, everyone is having fun, and then the power suddenly comes back. But that's not the only thing. If you look at the speaker, you'll notice that it's now facing the opposite direction from before the power outage. I think it was a small animation mistake, and not some ghost living in Peppa's house. Moving on, in the episode Picnic, the entire pig family goes outdoors for a small picnic. Now, let's look at the picnic blanket. There are many delicious things on it, including 2 sandwiches. The detail is that in the next scene, we see all 4 family members with sandwiches in hand. Additionally, there are 4 plates on the ground, 2 more than before, and 2 glasses of orange juice that also appeared out of nowhere. One next to Mummy Pig and another next to Daddy Pig. Even the orange juice carton itself mysteriously disappears. It seems as if someone is doing some sort of magic. In the episode Daddy Pig's Birthday, we can see Daddy Pig on his office working. And there's a board full of calculations and math figures next to Daddy Pig. In the meantime, Peppa Pig and George call Daddy Pig's office. When Mr. Rabbit passes the call to his co-worker, magically, the board moves to be behind Daddy Pig. Additionally, notice that even the calculations written on the board undergo a slight modification. For example, in the first scene, we see some blue letters, a purple circle, and the letters F and X. However, when Daddy Pig is on the phone with Peppa, the writing completely changes, and we see a red equation, a blue 1 + 1 sum, and some letters and numbers in yellow. In the same scene, we also notice that the cup with colored pencils behind Daddy Pig ends up switching places. First, the purple pencil is in one corner and the pink one in another. However, in the next scene, the 2 pencils swap sides, each ending up on the opposite side. It seems like animators of this show like to switch things mid-scene. In the episode where George needs to eat a salad after pizza, we noticed some magical occurrence. In one of the scenes, Grandma Pig puts a cucumber and 2 pieces of tomato on George's plate. And as we know, George isn't the biggest fan of vegetables, and his expression says that's not exactly what he wanted, so it's obvious that he doesn't want to eat any of those vegetables. That's why it doesn't make much sense that when we see George's plate again, after everyone finishes their pizza slices, there's only one tomato piece on it. Either this is a mistake, or George ate the piece when no one was looking, which I doubt. Going back to the episode Daddy Pig's Birthday. Here we see the whole family involved in making the birthday cake for Daddy Pig, and we see various ingredients on the table like milk, eggs, and flour. Also, there's a wooden spoon on the table next to the chocolate pieces that will be used in the cake. Then, Mummy Pig starts putting all the ingredients in a large bowl, and when the scene widens, note that the wooden spoon magically moved from where it was on the table to right next to Mummy Pig. It seems that besides making cakes, Mummy Pig also knows how to do magic. And also, it seems that George has also inherited the ability to do magic tricks from Mummy Pig, because right after this scene, Peppa asks to mix the cake batter, and George is by her side. Now, look at George's hand. There's nothing in it. But in a split second, a second spoon appears in the little pig's hand. George seems to be following Mummy Pig's footsteps. In the same episode when the family is getting ready to bake a cake for Daddy Pig, Mummy Pig asks Peppa to put the mold underneath so she can put the cake batter into it, which she does. Here we can clearly see that she pours everything from the bowl, right? Well, if that happened, why is it that when Mummy Pig puts the cake in the oven, Peppa appears holding the bowl as if it weren't completely empty? And wait, there's more. How did a spoon get back in there again? The animators really do love to appear and disappear things out of nowhere, don't they? In the episode Swimming, we can see a changing room with 4 doors, each one a different color. Daddy Pig comes out of the first blue door, Mummy Pig from the green door, Peppa from the yellow door, and George from the red door. The doors remain exactly like this throughout the episode. But when we get to the end, something weird happens. The colors of the doors change completely, and their order is reversed. The first door becomes red, and the last one blue, and all the colors are reversed. In the episode Market, there's a fair going on in Peppa's town. In one of the scenes, we can see that in the corner, there's a lamppost between Mr. Bull's stall and the apple stall. However, when the scene zooms in again and we see the stall in the corner, the lamppost has disappeared. Additionally, we also noticed another mistake. In this scene, we see a small pigeon pecking at the canvas of Miss Cow's tent, which later became Mr. Bull's tent. However, in the next scene, this same pigeon moves over to Mr. Bull's stall. Still in the same episode, we noticed another interesting detail. As we said earlier, Mr. Bull's stall and the apple stall are side by side. However, when the Peppa's family appears, we can see that the space between the 2 stalls becomes much larger, and Mr. Bull's stall simply disappears from the scene. So, these were some of the mistakes we found in Peppa Pig. And as always, we'll see you all in the next video.